Okay, now, hate
You're outclassed.
is a strong word. It's a strong word. It's a strong word. Now, and you're right. I don't hate Bebop, but the only reason I wouldn't say that I hate him is because
You dumb bastard.
I think hate might just be an insufficient term for how much that I dislike him. I despise Bebop. I loathe him. I disdain him. I actively plan against ruining his day. Whenever I were to load up into a Deadlock match, I think to myself, okay, who am I playing? Who am I up against? How should I be playing? What kind of items should I buy to counter them? If any team member were to start, being a problem. But if there's a Bebop in the match, and then, and heavens forbid he's in my lane, that line of thinking, it goes out the window. It's out the window. And that game plan changes. That game plan changes to, how can I absolutely ruin this Bebop's game? Or even, how can I ruin his day? If this Bebop were to lose, I want him to feel like he was the reason why he lost. And if he were to win, I want him to feel like he got carried and he did nothing. I want this Bebop to feel like he didn't do anything. I want him to feel like, hey, it was all my fault, or man, I got carried. I want him to have a bad game. It's as simple as that, really. It's really that simple. Okay, so just as an example for how I ruin a Bebop's game. If I'm playing like a support, I rush Divine Barrier. Second or technically third item, because it's like Grit, Guardian, then it's like first, third item, whatever. I rush Divine Barrier, so that if my teammates were to get bombed, oh, don't worry, teammates, no more bomb stacks. I got you. And I'll eventually build into like rescue beam to if Bebop were to ever get a hook, I'll just rescue you, beam them back, and hey, Bebop's getting no value. And I'll also, don't worry, I'll also build knockdown, and hey, no more ult value for you, Bebop. None of that. I'm having none of that, baby. And if I'm not playing a support, and I'm playing something else like like a Yamato or something, I think to myself, okay, counterspell, or is it like a dispel magic kind of game to get rid of the bomb stacks? Or actually, how about we go with both, don't we? How about we also buy an early reactive barrier, and then we can easily build that into an indomitable, so if I were to ever get hooked out of nowhere, oh hey, no value for you, Bebop, and no value for you, baby. And and in the very rare cases, it typically doesn't really get to this game, because I typically wipe the floor with the Bebop, absolutely demoralized before it gets to this point. I'll even build Phantom Strike and yank him to the ground if he's ever using his ultimate. Just things like that to ruin the Bebop's day. Simple things like that. Really simple. Really simple. Okay, now some of you may be thinking, hey, you seem to really dislike this one character. Hey, it's just a game. It's just like pixels. It's just pixels on a screen, bro. It's just pixels on a screen. Come on now. And to that, I have to say, clearly, you haven't fought him enough. Clearly, you're too simple-minded. And don't worry, I will be here to show you why Bebop absolutely sucks. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm here. Okay, so now that we're over here, I'm gonna hand things over to Paige, because oh my bro, Lash just doesn't stop moving. Look at him. He just doesn't stop moving. Okay, come on, Paige, take it from here. Yeah. So yeah. Now, there are a few reasons as to why I dislike Bebop, but I think it's a good place to start with his abilities, and what a good ability to start with is with his Grapple Arm, or his hook. Now, his hook, it is a pull, and a pull is a displacement. Now, you know, not a lot of people like displacements. You wanna know why? Because it interrupts what they want to do in terms of movement. You know, like, oh look, I can be like, wee, woo, where am I going? I'm going, you know, I can be moving, and then the Bebop can go, uh-oh, I'm gonna get hooked, and then you get hooked off, wow, I'm all the way over here, and you know, you don't know where you are, and then it takes a while to find where you are, and okay, cool, whoa, I am now here, you know, I just wanted to go from here to here, and you know, but oh no, I got pulled, and then I got a blah blah blah, you know. I got displaced. Well, not really I displaced, but whatever. You get the point, right? You get, like, you want to be going somewhere, and then you get interrupted. No one likes that, first off, you know? And now, speaking of displacements, I would say there are two main types of displacements. In video games, just like in general. In Deadlock, there are, I would say like 3, but whatever, it's getting nerdy. And I would say that there is a push, and there is a pull. Those are the two main types of displacements. Technically in Deadlock, you got like the tiny little knock-up displacement from like Dynamo, Stomp, but whatever, shut up. There's a push and a pull, okay? Now, and I'm going to start with the push. Now, I'm going to start with the push because I think this pushes are like way more interesting or better, or like, you know, there's better risk and reward. So anyway, in most pushes, in, you know, like in characters, you have to sacrifice positioning because, you know, the push typically comes from yourself as the character, and then, you know, it goes outwards, you know. So you have to sacrifice positioning to sacrifice the enemy's positioning. You know, so I think it's a little bit more fair. You know, so like you got characters like Lucio, you got Ash from Paladins. You guys remember Paladins? I like that game. And you got like Invisible Woman from Marvel Rivals. You know, they all have to sacrifice positioning to get a good push off. Man, I kind of miss Paladins. Like, you know, it didn't go anywhere. The servers are still up, but like, man, it was really fun. And you know, I think Paladins was actually way more fun than Marvel Rivals and Overwatch. But you aren't ready for that conversation, and we're supposed to be talking about Bebop. God, I hate Bebop. Anyway, so yeah, like a push. Like generally speaking, there are some exceptions, like Cassie from Paladins, where you can like push, like shoot a projectile and then it does like a push. But you know, generally speaking, to do a push, you have to sacrifice your positioning to sacrifice the enemy's positioning, which, you know, I think that's fair. And also, you're not just sacrificing your positioning, you might be sacrificing your teammates as well when you go for a push, you know? So, okay. So, you know how you have like the trifecta, you got like your tank, you got your the DPS, and then you got your support, you know? Like the holy trifecta that no one ever really changes or whatever. So, if you're a support and you have a push ability and you go for a push, that means you're going from your teammate's backline into the enemy's backline. And if you're doing that, you can't really support your teammates. So you know, take like Lucio for example, right? Take Lucio. If he wants to go for a push, he can't be supporting his teammates. So he's not just risking his position, he's risking his teammates, because like he might get, you know, he's not there to support him. So, you know, there's that as well for like considering pushing. And technically speaking, there are like, you also sacrifice like your cooldown, and you can like miss, or like, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. But I think that's just sort of like a given whenever you use an ability, so I'm not really going to talk about it too much. And now onto the pull side. A pull does not need to sacrifice positioning, because, well, you're pulling a target, like, you know, you're pulling the target towards you. So, you know, first off, there's a lot less risk for like going for a pull compared to a push. So, you know, that's something. I mean, you know, okay. I suppose you could argue that for a pull, you know, you're pulling the enemy right up towards you, you know, like, you know, they're right in front of you, while a push, you typically push them away. So, you know, the risky part is that they're right up in front of you. But, you know, to that I say, then, okay, just don't pull the targets that are, like, really dangerous to get up and close to, you know? There's not a lot of point in pulling an Abrams to you if you can just, well, you know, do Abrams things. You know, like same goes for a Victor, you know, like, just don't pull certain targets. Like, I don't, like, and this line of thinking also goes for, like, you know, pushing as well. Like, you know, why push a team? Okay, no, sorry. why push an enemy into your team if the enemy wants to be pushed into your team? You know, like it's like the same line of thinking. It's not really like a thing specific for pulling. So yeah. So then, what does a pull have to risk more compared to a push? Because typically a pull is way more valuable than a push. Because like, do you see these, like, do you see the distances that a push does compared to what a pull can do? There's got to be a risk to a pull, right? Well, there's not. Like, okay, despite a pull having more reward than a push, there's like so much less risk involved when going for a pull compared to a push. The only thing that I would say that a pull has, like, that's more challenging or more risky is that it's easier to miss. And and typically it is on a longer cooldown, you know, typically. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, okay, come on, let's go talk about Bebop's upgrade points. Okay, Bebop's upgrade points are okay. So at base, Bebop's grapple hook is at a 22-second cooldown. I think that's semi-fair for what it is, you know. I think it could be a little bit long, but you know, whatever. That's semi-fair. Now, his second point upgrade, it increases the range. And you know, okay, at base the range is 30 meters. That's also pretty fair. But the second point upgrade, it increases it by another 30. That is a 60-meter range at base without even getting into any items such as greater expansion or whatever. And by the way, greater expansion, it makes it go to 78 meters if you're curious. Like, that is an insane range. But like, okay, it's still on like a 22-second cooldown. It's fine, at least, you know, you can go for a pick and a kill every 22 seconds, you know, it's, you know, and you can also miss. Okay, it's fair. The tier 3 of upgrade point cuts that in half. And now, okay, you may be thinking that's an overreaction. And to that I say I barely reacted to that at all. That was complete silence. But anyway, 11.5 seconds, and you can go for a pick, which can pretty easily result in a kill if you're actually, you know, playing with your team. That's kind of insane. And what's also insane is that somehow Bebop Grapple Arm can be compared to Holiday Ult. But that's just like a side thing, you know. Whatever. It's like whatever. It's not like my Holiday character kind of sucks and they buff her in the wrong way. Whatever. But back to the cooldown thing. It's like 11.5 seconds. Okay, it's not base, but you know, without that's without even factoring any cooldown reduction items. Like, it can go to an 8.92 seconds, I think, cooldown reduction if you have Transcendent cooldown. Now, granted, you might not, you know, Transcendent cooldown, you might not have it. Okay. But even with just superior cooldown, it's still a 9.2 second cooldown. That, like what? That is an insanely low cooldown for what it can do. And now, you know, oh, that's just like its potential, and okay, yeah, sure, fair. But have you, like, for what it can do, like, come on. That's just it's so dumb and annoying to me. So yeah, I just think that Grapple Arm just has too much reward for, you know, too much reward, too little risk, and you can do it way too often, and it's comparable to some ultimates and even outclasses them. Like, come on, that's stupid. Let's go on to the second ability. Now then, after a Bebop hooks you, or well, okay, Grapple Arms you, whatever, nerd. What do you think is he gonna do next? That's right, he's gonna sticky bomb you. Now, okay. Do you have any idea how much psychological damage that this ability has done to me? You have no idea how much psychological damage that this ability has done to me. You have no idea. None. Anyway, okay, first off, Sticky Bomb. It does a fair bit of damage, which, okay, yeah, sure, fair enough. You have to be up close to use it, you know. If your enemy stays far away, you can't even get that damage off, you have to risk yourself, get up close, which is, fine. But that, it does good damage, which is fine. But what I'm not fine about is that it has a stacking mechanic. A stupid stacking mechanic. Why? Now, stacking mechanics can be really hit or miss. Hit or miss in the sense that it can be a hit in terms of it can help incentivize players to do the thing, and it's just give them like a little reward for being good at the game, similar to what like Mina does with her love bites, it rewards her, it gives her increased damage, but it's not like game breakingly overpowered, although it certainly her base ultimate sword is really good at base. I don't know why it does damage and silences you at the same time. Like what? Like I feel like anyway. Sorry, Bebop. Back to Bebop. But what a bad stacking mechanic can do is that it can incentivize you to play in a way that's just not healthy, not fun, or not interactive. And Bebop, yeah, I see you. His stacking mechanic has it's had issues, like a lot of issues over the years. Is it years, or is it like a year and a bit that Deadlock speed? I have no idea. Now, first off, when Bebop first came out, his stacking mechanic, it did not have a limit. Yeah, you heard me right. No limit, like no diminishing returns. No, there was just increased damage whenever you were to bomb someone or get a kill with it. It was stupid. It was so dumb. It caused me so much pain and misery. But anyway, this no limit on Bebop Bomb, it incentivized the absolute worst playstyle that I could ever imagine. And that playstyle was run at the enemy, constantly bombing them, and having zero regard with your life. Like, okay, it doesn't matter if you oh, I took 400 damage and they took 150 damage. No, that's not a bad trade for you. That's a good trade for you because you gained 1 stack. Yay! It incentivized a bad playstyle and unfun. Okay, it incentivized a unfun playstyle, and it rewarded Bebop for doing the most dumbest of things. It just rewarded the Bebop player way too much for gaining stacks, and it sort of turned into like a stack or die kind of thing for Bebop. Like you either live long enough to stack your bombs, or you die out shortly, or I don't know, man. So yeah, if Bebop didn't get stacks, he was quote unquote useless. Even though in my opinion he wasn't, because he could still do good area denial, get good picks and hook, get good picks with his hook, and it's like, okay, just because he can't one-shot you doesn't mean that he's useless. But whatever, bro, whatever. The developers eventually did change it. They did change it, so like, oh, if you die you lose stacks, but that didn't last long, because everyone like complained like, oh no, I couldn't be suicidal on Bebop anymore, but like, anyway, whatever. It was probably a good thing that you don't lose stacks. I don't know. Now, like I've said before, the stacking mechanic is ass. I don't like it. But where it really felt ass was when you're in the laning phase, because the way to win lane against Bebop, and then sort of even how to win lane against Bebop now, it isn't to gain more souls than Bebop. It's just to make sure that he doesn't get he doesn't get any stacks up, which feels so boring and unintuitive. Okay, not unintuitive, uninteractive. That's the word. Because how do I win lane against Bebop? You don't play you just stay back, and you shoot the wave, you go do your boxes, you go take the farm, you go do this boring that you just don't interact with him. That's how you win lane with Bebop. It sucks because if you were to push up all over there, where the Guardian is, and you know where Bebop would be, he's just gonna hook you in, and you're not gonna have a good time. Laning against a Bebop feels like absolute ass, because you know whenever you would get bombed in lane, you're like, oh cool, I just permanently increased Bebop's damage, and I'm taking a bunch of damage myself. And you know, it just sucks, man. It just sucks. It really does suck. Now then, after you get, you know, like hooked and then bombed, you're probably gonna get uppercut, which is just, you know, I actually kind of find it's kind of fine. It's fine, really. Like, no, like I'm being serious. It's a fine ability. I don't really have any complaints. Except for the max AP point upgrade, because what is that, bro? What is that? Sorry, composure. This max AP point upgrade, I truly have it. It has way too much going on, and I don't know why they think it's okay to have that. So you know, okay, so you know, let's have a look at the first line. Reset Grapple Arm cooldown to 0. I think that's good. Just that, I think that's worthy of being a tier 5. I mean, no, a tier 3 max AP upgrade point. Because okay, you know, because what you can do with that, you can hook someone, you can you know uppercut them further away, and you know if they try to run away, you can hook them again, and you know you can keep them, you can pull someone in and keep them there for a significant amount of time, and they can't really do a whole lot. Or what you can do is that you can hook someone, you know, and uppercut them into their team. Into your team, and you know they're gonna die. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I can go for another hook, and then you can go for another hook and get someone else. You know, you can get 2 picks with that. You know, like it's good. It's good. You know, but apparently not good enough because, you know, oh, gives you healing of your 17, 18, 20. They keep on changing the number, man. But you know, healing to whatever percentage of your missing HP. Why? Why does it do reset cooldown to 0 and give you a shit ton of healing? Why does it do that? That is just way too much. And also, what is Bebop trying to be? Like, okay, like first off, it's a pick character, but now he's doing a bunch of healing, so now he's kind of like a tank character. Like, what? Like, genuinely, over the years, what does Bebop want to be? Does he want to be a pick character, a gun character, a tank character, a spirit burst damage character? Like, what does he want to be? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Where am I going? Whoa. And now then, his final ability, Hyper Beam. I actually, I'm actually kind of fine with this ability. You know, I find it fair. You know, it's basically just a, oh hey, don't peek me for X amount of time. It's annoying, but you know, I find it fair. Like it's like the fair amount of annoying. You know, it has counters, it has advantages, it has risk, it has reward. You know, I am quite fine with Hyper Beam. You know, I'm fine with it, but you know, it is annoying. And I'm still, you know, it's not an ability, but it is part of Bebop's kit, and that is his gun. And now, his gun, okay, so you know how Deadlock has like this whole orb denying thing that's, you know, like you kill a trooper, and you know you gotta deny the orb, and you know you gotta time your shot to, you know, deny it, right? Bebop doesn't really have to give a shit about that. He can just hold down the trigger, you know, drink some liquor, hold down that trigger. Oh yeah, baby, consistent, absolute. Don't have to think about timing or anything. Just blah 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 blah. It's awesome. It's really awesome. And why do so many of his abilities just increases gun damage? Like, oh, plus 20 weapon amp, plus 40 weapon amp. Like, why does it amp his gun so much? Like, I don't like that. I don't know. I feel like that's sort of like a side thing that's, you know, you know, whatever. That I find that kind of annoying, but whatever, just whatever. And oh my goodness, oh whoa, there was a huge disconnect between his lore and his actual gameplay. In which, you know, in lore, Bebop is like, you know, he is a kind robot. You know, he is a kind, selfless, I think the word is, robot. You know, he's participating in the ritual to help save Miss Shelley from an unknown illness that 19th century modern medicine can't fix. But you know, like that's really kind of him. You know, he is not joining the ritual for his selfish reasons. You know, he's doing it for someone else. That is nice and kind. But on the other hand, his gameplay, well, like, you know, as you've just heard me ramble on, his gameplay is the most miserable, annoying thing. Like, he's a bastard. Like, I don't, like, you know, he's just such a huge ass disconnect, man. Like, oh my. And, you know, okay, and, you know, I don't know if it's me just, you know, remembering the extremes, or like, you know, like a vocal minority, but it's always like 3 different kinds of Bebops that are like, the 3 different kinds of players who play Bebop. And that's the ultra mega, hey, I should probably mute that guy, you know, the teehee kind of guy, and then you got average Jonas, in which, yeah. Okay, well, I'm kind of lying about the 3rd option, but like, you know, whenever I see a Bebop, I just can't help but get reminded of average Jonas, because like, I don't know. He's like the Bebop guide for me. Like, I don't know. To me, he's like what Frogger is to Lucio, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really know. So yeah, like the Bebop players. Like, I don't know if it's me just like projecting my annoyance of Bebop as a character, or like reversing him like onto other people and players, but like it's always like these 2 people, you know, like it's always like yeah, I don't know, it's annoying. Also, okay, now to you, what is Bebop? And you know, okay, if you were to say that Bebop is a pick-like character, you would be right. But you would also be wrong, because over the years, I think, Bebop has gone from like a spirit nuker, funny, haha, I fly in with Majestic Leap and I explode your whole team, god that was awful, to like a, oh, I'm a pick character, to, oh, I am gun now, and oh wow, look, I am a tank, like, ooh, like what is Bebop supposed to be? Like, I sometimes I wonder if the devs know what they want Bebop to be, or if they know what they want Bebop to be, but they can't make Bebop be that be, so then they're like, okay, we're gonna do some other things, you know? I'm not gonna ramble about this too much, because like, you know, like, oh, if you like if you're complaining about what the devs want Bebop to do, or like, you know, what they're gonna make him do, blah blah, like, you know, like, oh, how about you just, you know, you come up with your own ideas. And to that I say, my own idea for what I want Bebop to be is a pile of scrap. So, like, you know, great constructive criticism I have, I can assure you. And you know, and one last thing, the thing that really gets on my nerves is, you know, like that really annoys me, is the things that Bebop mains say to like justify themselves, like, oh, you can just buy that and that and blah blah blah, and my character's useless. Like, okay, bro, like, yeah, sure, because Counterspell, Dispel Magic, and Indomitable all have the same cooldown as your hook or your sticky bomb. Like, yeah, or they say something along the lines of, oh, just like don't get hooked, lmao. And it's like, okay, like don't get me wrong, that's like, you know, yeah, just don't get hooked, but at the same time, that doesn't articulate how to not get hooked, you know, like, oh, just don't get hooked, like it's basically like saying, oh, just don't take damage, or like, oh, just don't die, like, oh wow, great advice, gee, thanks, I never thought of it. And something that really annoys me is when they say something like, oh, but my hero is bad. Like, bro, I do not care that your hero is bad. Like, okay, I play heroes that have a below 50% win rate for, like, okay, I play heroes for fun. You know, I play this game for fun. I don't really care about winning. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. It's cool to go, oh, look at my rank. Oh, look how high I am on the leaderboard. I'm such a good player. Like, okay, yeah, sure. That's cool to do. But I play this game for fun. I don't care about winning. And, you know, since I don't care about winning, I care about what's fun to play against. And Bebop is the least fun thing to play against. It just annoys me because one game I like this guy, you know, I was complaining about Bebop as per usual, and he was like, oh, why are you complaining about Bebop? He's so bad. He has a below 50% win rate. Oh, look at that. And I'm like, bro, I don't care. You're annoying. He's annoying. I'm just not having fun. Like, I don't care. And this annoyance that I have to, you know, playing against people, it's not a knowledge or skill issue. It's just that it's so incredibly unfun, and I just don't like it. Like, it's just boring, unfun, and like it's lame. It's annoying. I hate him. Yeah. So, yeah. I do hate Bebop, but I also don't, because hate is a strong word. It does define what I feel against Bebop, but I just don't think it's strong enough, you know? Like,
Don't you get it?
yeah.
You're outmatched.
What a beautiful sight that was. Fuck you, Bebop. Fuck you.